The distress beacon pierced through the cosmic void like a dying scream, its electromagnetic pulse carrying the desperate plea of the Zephyrian colony ship Ethereal Dawn. For 3 rotations, the signal had broadcast across 17 star systems, each pulse growing weaker as the ship's power reserves dwindled. Captain Veltar pressed his 4-fingered hand against the viewing port, watching the sleek predator vessels of the Korthak Syndicate circle their crippled ship like metallic vultures. His translucent blue skin had paled to an almost crystalline white, a sure sign of the terror coursing through his bioluminescent circulatory system. "Any response to our distress signal?" he asked, without turning from the window. Communications Officer Nixana's head tendrils drooped in defeat. "Nothing, Captain. The nearest Galactic Council patrol is 4 cycles away. The Independent Traders Union hasn't acknowledged us. Even the Mercenary Guild has gone silent." Veltar's mandibles clicked in frustration. The Korthak had chosen their moment perfectly. This region of space was a jurisdictional void, too remote for the Council, too poor for the merchants, too dangerous for anyone with sense. The perfect hunting ground for slavers. "Incoming transmission from the lead Korthak vessel," Nixana announced, her voice barely a whisper. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the scarred face of a Korthak commander. The reptilian creature's yellow eyes gleamed with predatory satisfaction, his forked tongue tasting the air as if he could smell their fear across the vacuum. "Zephyrian vessel, this is Commander Seth of the Blood Talon. Your ship will submit to boarding. Your cargo and passengers will be processed. For the labor markets, any resistance will result in immediate spacing of your young." The transmission cut off, leaving only the hum of life support systems and the quiet sobbing of families huddled in the passenger compartments. 3,000 souls aboard the Ethereal Dawn, refugees fleeing the civil war on Zephyr Prime, seeking a new life among the outer colonies. Now they would end their journey in Korthak slave pens. That's when the readings began. "Captain," called out sensor technician Mordak, his voice tight with confusion, "I'm detecting a massive gravitational distortion. Something's coming out of hyperspace." "Korthak reinforcements?" Veltar's heart sank further. "No, sir. The signature is unusual. I've never seen anything like it. The space in front of them rippled like disturbed water, reality folding in on itself before tearing open in a brilliant flash of azure light. What emerged made every being on the bridge freeze in stunned silence. The ship was impossibly massive, easily 3 times the length of their colony vessel, but it moved with a predator's grace that defied its size. Its hull was a matte black that seemed to absorb light itself, broken only by angular panels that pulsed with an inner fire. Strange markings covered its surface, not the elegant curves of Zephyrian script or the harsh angles of Korthak writing, but something else entirely. Something that spoke of both primitive origin and terrifying advancement. "What species builds ships like that?" whispered Nixana. Before anyone could answer, the newcomer opened fire. The Korthak vessels were apex predators of space, their ships designed by millennia of piracy and warfare. They were fast, heavily armed, and crewed by beings who knew no fear. None of it mattered. The human ship, for that's what it was, though none aboard the Ethereal Dawn had ever heard of humanity, unleashed hell with clinical precision. Streams of coherent energy lanced out, each beam finding its target with mathematical certainty. The Korthak shields, designed to withstand the heaviest council weaponry, collapsed like tissue paper, But it wasn't just the power that terrified. The watching Zephyrians, it was the silence. No declarations of intent, no demands for surrender, no communication at all. The human ship simply appeared and began methodically erasing the Korthak fleet from existence. Commander Seth's vessel, the mighty Blood Talon, lasted longest. The Korthak commander screamed challenges and threats across all frequencies, demanding to know who dared interfere with Syndicate operations. The human ship's only response was another volley that turned the Predator vessel into expanding gas and twisted metal. In less than 10 minutes, the entire Korthak fleet was gone. Not destroyed, gone. As if they had never existed at all. The human ship turned toward the ethereal dawn, and every soul aboard the colony vessel held their breath. What did these silent destroyers want? Were they simply replacing one predator with another? A communication request chimed softly. "Put it through," Veltar commanded, his voice steady despite the fear coursing through him. The holographic display activated, revealing a bipedal figure in a dark uniform. The being's face was unusual, bilateral symmetry, forward-facing eyes, and a strange covering of fine fibers above its optical organs. When it spoke, its voice was calm, almost gentle. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Retribution. Are you in need of assistance?" Veltar struggled to find his voice. You destroyed an entire fleet. For us?" The human's expression didn't change. "We received your distress signal. The Korthak Syndicate has been designated a hostile force engaged in sentient trafficking. Standard protocol applies." Standard protocol? Article 7 of the Human Charter. "No sentient being shall be subjected to slavery, forced labor, or involuntary servitude. Violations are to be met with immediate and overwhelming force." The simplicity of the statement struck Veltar like a physical blow. No negotiation, no political calculation, no consideration of profit or loss. Just a line drawn in the cosmos, defended with absolute conviction. "We offer escort to your destination," Captain Chen continued. "No payment required. Safe passage is a fundamental right." As the human ship took position alongside the ethereal dawn, its massive bulk a silent promise of protection, Veltar finally understood what they had witnessed. Not conquest or replacement, but something far more terrifying to those who would prey upon the weak. They had seen justice arrive on wings of fire, carried by a species that answered distress calls not with words or negotiation, but with the simple, terrible mathematics of righteous violence. The stars themselves had learned a new truth that day. When the innocent cried out in the darkness, somewhere in the void, humanity was listening. And when humanity responded, predators learned the difference between hunting and being hunted.